Hi there, we've just finished off our last day with Italians here in San Francisco. We had an awesome trip. I want to share some of the highlights of this week.
Yes, that's what we want to do, and I think we learned a lot about insurance, and definitely that is actually sexy. We thought it would be quite boring to talk all week about insurance, but I actually like it by now.
We saw that due to the collaborative economy, that insurance is in fact something that is very relevant and very important. What we saw is that a lot of these startups, when they wanted to go into like Uber, Airbnb or Feastly, they all dealt with the same problem, and that is insurance. And they all knocked onto the door of the big insurance companies, and those were afraid, they didn't want to go for it. But in fact, it's a key in the business model of this collaborative economy. And we just started, so there's still a lot of potential now that the insurers understand that, hey, we should go and get on this train. Really.
Yes, I think their brain has been a bit rewired. Like we see with a lot of incumbents, you are used to a certain routine in your business model, and I think now they start from scratch. And that's something that we heard from Shelby Clark from My Hippo this week as well. Like, we were looking for a good insurance product, but it just didn't exist. So they went through the mud, they did a lot of things manual, but they tried to question their product, and they started with an MVP, and that's actually what made them go to a solution.
And they started really with the customer in the middle, and they started with what we call on-demand insurance. It's like in Netflix, similar. If I want to look at Netflix, I watch it now. It's completely personalized to what I want. Now, why can't insurance be the same way? Why should my car be insured all the time if I'm only going to drive it like maybe once a week? So they were moving to a world with what we call microscopic insurance, where I will only insure something that I actually am needing now.
Yes, and instead of offering that in a very complex and ununderstandable format, the companies that we met here in the Valley are actually offering that through very simple platforms, to actually platforms that are fun, that actually consumers want to use, and I think that simplicity is a very important takeaway for.
And that's how they make insurance also sexy, and they make insurance fun. Because now when we think about insurance, we only think about the negative process, right? We go and we are in contact with our insurance the moment that we have a claim, which is actually a negative emotion. But what these guys do here is they look at the whole journey. How, for example, if I have my car parked at the wrong side of the lane, and the insurance company, they can actually know where my car is parked. They can also send me a message saying, hey, Anik, pay attention, your car is at the wrong side, and we know that they are busy with ticketing, with putting out fines. You'd better go and move your car. Well, that is just amazing. I mean, I will make sure, my insurance company will make sure that I will not be having fines. So those are things that these guys are doing in order to bring an added value along your customer journey, and not only at the moment that you are in trouble. Because let's face it, the moment you are in trouble, then you just want to get help. Well, in fact, you just want to get paid out, and doing more stuff there, that is not what we talk about in insurance.
Yeah, they add value, they reduce the cost, and of course what we heard a lot as well in that regard is that a lot of insurance insurtech companies are selling directly. So that's a huge difference, of course, with the traditional insurance models. But I think a lot of ideas have to come on how can we bridge the human aspect and the digital aspect and make them stronger together. I think that's a very good way to go. And how can we make this process more convenient for the customer and bring it more convenience? I think Donald Jones told us that like convenience is the glue. And if you want your customers to use your service, then it will have to be simple in the future.
Why, for example, on home insurance, should you fill out so many parameters yourself? There are plenty of things, I mean, that people already can know based on Google data, based on map data.
Like the example of the burglary.
Yeah.
That you have websites that actually can already see, okay, watch out, there's burglary taking place in the neighborhood. Well, your insurer actually alerts you, take care, close your things. So in that way, they are becoming proactive again.
They know when Hegel will come, but also they know a lot of the parameters, how many square meters your house is. They already know, because based on tax returns, they can know that information. So, and pre-populate that already in your insurance documents. So plenty of ways we've seen here how you can really start from a customer-centric perspective.
We got a little step further, I think, this week as well. We're thinking of the future and how the future will look like, and a lot of it had to do with the autonomous world, and I'm very curious.
Yes, I think the autonomous world will flip the whole insurance market, because a lot of these companies, they have as main product car insurance, but of course we all know that with autonomous vehicles we won't be needing that anymore. You will go to cars that will be a sleep car or a travel car or a car that as itself will have a completely different function, than instead of just getting you from A to B, you might have party cars or teleconferences cars.
Yeah, and I think that's the main lesson that incumbents need to take away as well. All these companies are actually laying the foundations to be ready for this autonomous world. If it's really happening tomorrow, they just have to pull the switch, because the software can be updated in a Tesla car, for example. They have all the infrastructure laid out, and then you're just too late. You have to be ready as a company to be prepared for this, and to know what you're going to do if it really is flipping.
Yes. And besides that, I also think we've learned a lot about the venture capitalists here and the relationship between founders and venture capitalists, because a lot of people, they often think, yes, well, they have been raising so much money, these entrepreneurs, and all they are after is raising that money and then burning the money. That's not true, in fact. We've seen that the relationship they want to go after is they want to have venture capitalists that will really back them up in good times, but also in bad times, so that when they do a next round, a Series C round, for example, and they're not getting all the money together, that they can go back to their early investors and say, hey guys, can you further back me up? Because you believe in me. And what we see at the venture capitalist side is that these guys are not just giving the money anymore to be burned. They're also looking more now for first sign of revenue. So it means that the startups will grow a little bit slower, but it's more in a sustainable way, which I think is a very good evolution.
It's indeed a very good evolution. And what I liked a lot about this week as well, we saw a venture capitalist, but also we saw experts in corporate venturing. We saw the vision of the startups, of course. I think for many companies that's interesting to see on how these people work together. It's not that they're like in verticals or silos, but all of those people said the same thing, like we work together, we share experiences, we share our questions, our answers, we try something out. If it fails, you kind of do the minimal awesome checks with your friends and foes, let's say, and they learn a lot about it. While we see a lot of companies that think, okay, our business model is the holy truth, we continue to work on that, and that might be their death in the end.
Yeah, we see a lot of companies doing a pivot. They call it. They started with one ID, and what is really nice is that how fast it goes. And especially in insurance, one would think, well, that will never go. We can't do things in a very lean startup way because we are in a very regulatory environment. It's not easy. We just can't do it. But that's not true. What they do is they take the timeline of the regulatory environment and they say, well, okay, that is my longest timeline. And all the rest, the moment that regulatory-wise things are right, I'm there. I'm already there. I have everything in place. And sometimes they take the regulatory environment a bit as a gray zone, where they go, okay,
is it even legal?
Is it even legal? Indeed. But that's a different mentality. They do not start with the problems. No, they start from the customer, and they start immediately with problems of the customer and trying to solve these. And we've seen business models evolving from an idea to launch in just 1.5 years, which is amazing. If you tell that to an insurance company.
Yeah, where it's usually 10 years to estimate what the return on investment could be.
Yes.
So I think that's the same where we learned about the squirrels.
Yes, I like the squirrels.
Yes.
Yes.
We will share a great movie in one of our blogs as well. It's about a Spanish environment where you have the bull and everybody's like running after the bull. Well, these days you have to run after the squirrels, and there's so many. Yeah. But the question is, if you want to run with the squirrels, if you want to run with the new companies, then you have to also understand how they function. So you should share your experiences.
And what happens, of course, is that every squirrel, so every startup is very focused. So it's very small, very focused. And what they do, they just take one piece of your cake. They're not going to eat your whole cake because they're not going to come with an offer of everything in insurance, like the big companies that offer any type of insurance. No, they're just going to take a little bit on home insurance or home insurance for millennials or a little bit on car insurance for the shared economy. So little bits. But as more squirrels are coming, your cake is vanishing, is disappearing.
That aspect of focus was very
Yes.
vividly present, I think, in this week, and it also what makes it difficult for large companies because they have so many products, and if you see these evolutions, these trends, it's hard to like apply them directly to all
Yes.
of your products, all of your teams, all of your people. But the lesson should be just start, try, make the mindset change in your company step by step, project by project, and that way you will get yourself ready for the future.
Well, I think this was it. We just had a marvelous week.
We're very curious on how the next steps will evolve and
what they will do. But it was an awesome week with our first Italian customer.
we can recommend them.
Yes, indeed. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ciao.